Hey y'all, this is Molly K. I hope everybody is doing well and hope y'all can hear this video good. Don't know what's happening this morning with the video. My camera is acting crazy. So, into who? Let's get into this story about the Pope, him calling for unity of all churches and religions. And then let's get into this other story about the wildfires in Israel and what's going on over there. We need to pay attention to end time eschatology because these are the days that weird stuff is about to start happening. I've already, given y'all the deal with the Pope, how this is probably the last one. And I think whatever we thought about end time eschatology, if we thought we had it all figured out and we know who's who and what's what and what's going to happen where, I think we are going to all be shocked. Now, I think that those of us who are paying attention are going to catch the differences in end time eschatology compared to what happens in real life, because we also have to remember that a lot of us are going by the book of Revelation. Some people are going by Daniel and Ezekiel, Isaiah, Obadiah, Jeremiah, Matthew. So there are just a lot of different takes to what's happening now. But one of the things that I want to put on your thought process, so you got to put your tinfoil hat on for this one. What if the poles are getting ready to shift, the ocean floor is getting ready to start moving, and these continents are going to move? And what was Israel, or that place that they made Israel, is not Israel? And what if they changed the maps? And when I say they, y'all know who I'm talking about. Edom, Esau, people who've been ruling the world for thousands of years and not ready to give up power. So what if they have changed the maps, and older maps show Jerusalem someplace else, or the promised land someplace else? What if where Burkina Faso is, and that's the place where they took Judah, Benjamin, and Levites from during the slave trade and scattered us all over the planet? What if that area is actually the area where the great battle between good and evil takes place? I don't know. I'm just thinking about some things. And when you read the Apocrypha and you read the other books in the Old Testament, like the prophecy of Daniel and the other minor prophets, it's just, I don't know, something in my spirit. I don't want to say, because if you people start saying stuff, people be like, oh, she telling a lie, or she prophesying. I'm not doing any of that. The only thing I'm taking into consideration is the people who wrote this book they transliterated stuff. They've changed the maps, they've changed the name of nations, they've changed the name of people so that it can hide one set of people so that Satan can continue to rule the world. And so, not saying that the word of the Most High isn't true, But we also have to take into consideration that a lot of this transliteration and changes and map changes, I mean, people are discovering stuff every day and bringing it out, how things were changed. And they were changed to hide God's chosen people and time and places, and to discredit some of the events. But now the truth is coming out, and the devil is not hiding anymore. He's out everywhere out front. But one of the things that he's doing is overplaying his cards, because he know he has a little time left, and the people that are working for him and believe in him and have reprobate minds and are given over unto him or to that spirit, they are wild, loose, and free on the planet. They are doing their father's work. Meanwhile, those of us who are sitting here trying to keep watch and stressed and trying to make our ends meet and trying to be righteous and holy and repentant, we are seeing prophecy unfold, and it is very interesting. So I'm gonna read you this story about what the Pope says, and I don't know where all these religions are going to rule from, but it's just interesting that the one at the top is calling for unity of all religions right now, as soon as he gets into power, a continuation of Pope Francis's agenda, a continuation of the end time agenda. And notice that our president, a vice president, and lots of other leaders actually had another appointment to go see this Pope. So you see how everybody got to check in. You got to pay attention to who checked in at the Pope's inauguration. So here on this news feed, it says J.D. Vance gives Pope Leo an invitation from Trump to visit the U.S. So now he went over there the day before the old Pope died, not here long ago. Now he back over there again, pining to the new one. So if the Roman Empire wasn't important and didn't matter, they wouldn't be going over there doing all that. They don't go no place else. So anyway, a lot of things getting ready to happen. A lot of things. Notice the power outages have started here in America. They are rushing anxiously to get these power poles put in the ground. So I think, any time soon, bad things could be happening. They keep talking about these shortages and inflation, and just and take note of all the black men that are in the media being taken down. You saw the story about Tory Lanez getting stabbed in prison. Now the stuff is coming out about Meg Thee Stallion. It's going to lead to Jay-Z and Beyonce, possibly Diddy, Chris Brown. Chris Brown was mentioned, I think, in the Diddy trial. You see the stuff that's going on, the disparaging stuff that's going on with the Diddy trial. Then you see they locked up Chris Brown overseas. Again, we got all these racial things going on. You got black fatigue. You got the woman raising $1 million so she could say the N-word to her family. Carmelo Anthony, I think, is going back to jail for something. So it's just a lot of stuff is going on, and a lot of stuff is going on with black men, African American. Nah, I can't even say African American. Negro men, descendants of chattel slavery, freedmen, whatever you want to call us, foundational black Americans. Our men are the poster child of dysfunction, lustful, debauchery, bestiality, drug use, just everything bad. It is intentional because they are making the case to get rid of us. They are making the case that we are useless. Look at our women. They're walking around with bonnets on their heads. They're going everywhere loud and obnoxious, talking um, just about foolery, looking crazy with them eyelashes and them hair hats on. And, we're expecting the world to receive us and continue to tolerate us. Everybody is tired of looking at us, and it's not all of us. It's quite a few of us, but it's not all of us. But it doesn't matter. They put the bad ones out here before the world so that they can get rid of us. A lot of agendas, a lot of imaging, a lot of psyops are happening right now as we speak. And most people do not get it. Most people are not going to get it. Most people are not going to be here. And so as you try to survive, just understand you're going to have to fight your own people first. Everybody in your own group, you're going to have to fight them first. Because a lot of people have been deceived. A lot of people are really not paying attention to, this particular story about this Pope and what's going on in Israel. They're looking for Netanyahu. Just a lot of stuff is going on, and I don't talk about it because it's just so much. I literally couldn't get nothing done. I just be on the computer all day making videos, and at some point the internet is going to go down. So really, I've just been trying to prepare by getting this lot tilled next to me. Hoping and praying that I can get a paycheck before the bottom falls out. And as far as people are concerned, I really don't know what I'm going to do, because the good people that I know that follow me, they are scattered everywhere. I don't have anybody that is really around me who I can trust. And if I do, I have people who I can trust, but they're attached to people I already know I can't trust, so I can't trust them. So it's a very difficult time to be living, but we have to keep the faith. We cannot have fear. Excuse that train that's going by if y'all hear that. It's just the trains are constantly coming through here. Sometimes it's really quiet, but sometimes, like now, I don't know what's going on, but a lot of shipping going on. So pay attention to your trains. They also tell a story. But anyway, let's get into this story. So it says this happened in Vatican City. Pope Leo spoke on Sunday of the remarkable times during which he's elevated to the papacy, saying during his first homily as pontiff that he will rise to the task with fear and trembling, while still seeking to serve all with faith and joy. That ain't why you're supposed to have fear and trembling, sir. You supposed to. Anyway, the homily was delivered during the American Pope's inaugural Mass, called the Holy Mass, for the beginning of the pontificate in St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. An open-topped Pope mobile had driven Leo on Sunday morning through St. Peter's Square, where about 100,000 people had gathered to catch a glimpse of him. The Pope said during his homily that there's too much discord, too many wounds caused by hatred, violence, prejudice, the fear of difference, and the economic paradigm that exploits the earth's resources and marginalizes the poorest. I pay attention to this statement right here, because I think this right here is going to be huge, and I don't think it's going to be what people think either. They think those words mean something. I just go back and watch that movie Conclave. I would not be surprised if we get a surprise. That's kind of surprise. So it says he called for the world's 1.4 billion Catholics to embrace a missionary spirit rather than closing themselves off in our small groups. He called for the faithful to discard feelings of being superior to the world. quote, we are called to offer God's love to everyone in order to achieve the unity which does not cancel out our differences. See how he lied? God didn't say, he didn't tell us to love everybody. He said, you can't love everybody because some of these people are your enemies. You got to pray for them, but you don't. And we can't be around everybody. We're called to be set apart. So if you're unified with everybody, then you're going against what God's intentions are for end times. Because He says separate. He's coming back to divide. He ain't coming back to unify. So even in giving this word, it's as if they are ignoring God's word. So it says we are called to offer God's love to everyone in order to achieve that unity which does not cancel out differences but values the personal history of each person and the social and religious culture of every people. Okay, I could just stop right here. If you read your Bible, you already know that's wrong if you are a believer or follower of the way. Christians are going to do this, are going to follow up with this, and they're going to be in trouble. Attendees at the Mass, which marks the official beginning of Leo's papacy, included Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, along with other political figures and dignitaries. Vance and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky greeted each other and shook hands prior to the Mass. Everybody is friends. Now pay attention to this part. Representatives from the ecumenical Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Sikh, Zoroastrian, and Jain churches were in attendance, the Vatican's Holy See press office said. So when they talk about ecumenical, they're also talking about Christians. They didn't talk about Christianity here, but Christianity is included in the ecumenical movement, and that includes American Protestantism. All the denominations are gone back under the Pope. We already saw that. We already talked about it. So they are preparing for their one world religion. Leo, who was formerly Cardinal Robert Prevost, is a 69-year-old native of Chicago, Illinois. Elected on May the 8th, he's the first American to lead the church. During the ceremony, Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle presented Leo with his ring of the fisherman. Leo will wear that ring, which celebrates St. Peter, who was the first pope throughout his papacy. Oh boy. So you see how they're mixing up stuff. Fisher of men, the Messiah, fisher of men, ring of the fishermen. Pope Francis, Leo's predecessor, died on April 21st after he was discharged from a weeks-long hospital stay. The newly installed pontiff also paid tribute to him, saying on Sunday his death filled our heart, this should be hearts, with sadness. After he gave some insight into the papal conclave that saw him elected earlier this month. As 133 cardinals in the Sistine Chapel, they could feel the working of the Holy Spirit. Ooh-wee, that wasn't the Holy Spirit, baby. It was a spirit, but it wasn't unholy about it. Leo told the crowd on Sunday, adding that the Spirit was able to bring us into harmony, like musical instruments, so that our heartstrings could vibrate in a single melody. What in the world? Why you just couldn't pull no scriptures out of the Bible? They be making up stuff. Ooh, they be making up stuff. I was chosen. He was chosen. Notice the words that he's using. without any merit of my own. And now, with fear and trembling, I come to you as a brother, he said. Oh, the devil always come to you. It's something that he doggone, that he know you going to accept with some nice words. Look how he tricked Eve. And all the people who was around Job when he was losing. I mean, just wow. Anyway, I come to you as a brother, he said, who desires to be the servant of your faith and your joy, walking with you on the path of God's love. For he wants us all to be united in one family. Ooh, y'all better not follow him. Y'all better not. Y'all better get y'all Bibles out and start reading them, baby. Because this right here is to be the okie doke. This is it. So, I'm going to share with you this story about the wildfires in Israel. They're no longer burning, but this is just my opinion that Israel has to burn. And so this ecumenical movement can take place. These religions can come together. And I don't know if they're going to rule in Rome or they're going to be someplace else. But some major moves are getting ready to happen. So I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. But I wanted to talk about it because I have been talking about it. And I think it's something that we really need to pay attention to. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. But this right here, this is the place where all the nations bow down. And this is the place that rules over all the kings. The kings have to go see the Pope to get their orders, to get his blessing. So, it's a very interesting time. So this story came from the National Herald, India, and it says wildfires rage across Israel, sparks national emergency as thousands flee. So this is an old story, but I don't know, we know about weather modification. We know the president is on the run. We know the whole world is seeing the people for who they are not, and it sounds like they're about ready to tell it. But also, I think it's timely that as this new pope comes in, this place is destroyed so that you have to go worship where this Abrahamic religions, converge into one. And then whoever the beast is going to sit on top and rule. We know the 10 kings have come together for the 10 toes in Daniel's prophecy. And the place where these fights are taking place, again, I would pay attention to the Sahel region because that's where Yah's people originally came from. If the poles are shifting and the earth is shaking and quaking and everything is getting ready to move, who knows what is going to happen? We might get to walk out of here and go back to the kingdom. I'm just saying, if Ethiopia is splitting in half, the continent of Africa is splitting, it's just a lot of amazing stuff happening, and our media is not covering it. So if you're not like really watching stuff on YouTube, watching international news, and like reading stuff for yourself, you will not know what is going on. A lot of things are going on. This earth is literally moving. I can feel quakes like every couple of days. Just the earth is moving. So just make sure you're paying attention to what's happening because we are in a very dangerous time, and we know that we don't have much longer before things start getting really bad. And we got to endure to the end. We got to know about the mark and being sealed. We have to know about the no buy, no sell system. We have to be trying to be self-sufficient. We have to really be patient. And I want to encourage you all who are living with people who are not believers, who don't understand what's happening, but they're, taking care of you or allowing you to, be in their homes during these times. God can use everybody. Everybody that helps us ain't going to be holy and righteous. Sometimes God will put a ram in the bush for you, and it'll come from somebody that he don't necessarily want you to be around, but he will allow them to bless you. So see certain things as blessings during this time. I'm even have to correct my thinking about, what God can do and who he will use to bless his people and to help his people. Look at Rahab, the prostitute, who had her whole entire family saved because she looked out for some Israelites. So God can do anything that he wants to do in his own time and use anybody and anything he wants to do to show you he is who he said he was. So let us not be discouraged. All right, so it says 5 communities have evacuated while others remain on high alert. And this story came out on May the 1st. Of course, it's May the 20th. The month is almost over, but I want to talk about it because I saw these stories and I thought it was interesting that here around the same time the Pope passes away, then this place on fire. And, now the police looking for him. And, these people, everything is a Hollywood movie. It's a Hollywood movie script. So keep that in mind. We're living under the biggest psyop ever. And we all are a part of it. So I'm just telling you, just be a conspiracy theorist. Be a critical thinker. And don't trust nothing. Even some of the stories that I read, I'll be like, are these people for real? This can't be real. This got to be fake because this don't even make no sense. So anyway, a massive wildfire raging through Israel has triggered a national emergency in the nation, forcing the evacuation of thousands and casting dense plumes of smoke over Jerusalem. So now the people got to leave. So here we go with this migration again. Certain people's got to go and start over. Where they going? Authorities have described the blaze as one of the most severe in the nation's history, erupting on Wednesday, April 30th, coinciding with Israel's Memorial Day for fallen soldiers, and spreading swiftly due to strong winds and parched conditions. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu sounded the alarm, warning that the fast advancing fire could reach Jerusalem. Quote, "This is a national emergency, not just a local one," he said. Emphasizing the urgency, Netanyahu added, "The priority right now is defending Jerusalem," and called for additional fire engines and the creation of fire breaks. Chaos unfolded as the fire approached Route 1, the key highway linking Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Authorities were forced to shut down the road, and dramatic footage shared on social media showed drivers abandoning their vehicles and fleeing on foot as flames crept closer. Firefighters, assisted by military personnel, battled the inferno as smoke blanketed the sky. The Israel Defense Forces said its forces were aiding in firefighting and evacuation, and that aerial support was deployed to provide a real-time operational overview. Israel's Emergency Medical Service reported treating 23 people so far, including 13 hospitalized with burns and smoke inhalation. The agency warned that hundreds more remain at risk in what is being described as the country's worst wildfires in years. So, the other piece that I want to show you, the nations that are helping put out these fires, or that helped to put out the fires, are Greece, Cyprus, Croatia, and Italy. So the list of nations that you can call on now is getting real small. Just pay attention to that. So it says Israel is marking Memorial Day for fallen soldiers from sunset on April 29th to nightfall on April 30th this year. So they have a Sabbath for fallen soldiers. That ain't what Sabbath is supposed to be for. Anyway. And then they call it Memorial Day. They done took our day that we had, because Memorial Day originally came from the Negroes. So much stuff is going on, y'all. It is crazy. that this is happening at this time when this new pope is being installed. And I got my tinfoil hat on. Y'all know I keep it on. But I don't think this is a coincidence. I don't think anything is a coincidence. I think this is getting rid of evidence so they can rewrite history and start a new chapter in their evil book. But we already know that Yah's ways are the best ways, and Yah's word is not going to come back void. So we need to buckle up. I honestly believe we are in the end times. I believe this is the end of the age. I definitely think we are at the end of the Bronze Age. And if we go into a golden age, it's going to be our golden age. It's not going to be the Gentiles' golden age. So we need to be prepared to endure to the end. And you have to prepare to endure to the end. You ain't just going to make it to the end. Faith without work is dead. So if you think you just gonna, God got me, you gonna get bricks upside your head. You gonna be ran through. You gonna have some bad things happen to you. I'm not gonna tell you what happens to folks in war, but it's gonna be some bad things happen to you. You better stop being a fool and get on the ball with preparing for what's coming. You also need to read your word, because the word is very explicit about what is going to happen during these times. And it keeps saying, be ye not deceived. Do not be deceived. Do not be deceived. That is something that we need to keep in the forefront of our minds. We are living in a time of great deception. Lots of illusions, lots of lying wonders, lots of psyops. And we have to siphon through all of it to try to find the truth. So don't be tired of looking for the truth, and do not feel bad for not trusting anything. We live in a time where we already know we are going to be deceived. So we have to try to not be deceived. And in order to do that, it's like you can't hardly believe anything. And I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. You got to think of everything critically. You just can't see stuff at face value. When I see this story and this other story about the Pope, and he's calling for unity, and he's got all these different religions coming together, and then you got Christians out here, yeah, this our Pope, he black. We doing this, oh, he black, we got him thing. Man, y'all better be going the other way. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a whole lot of people who are going to be sorely disappointed when the truth is revealed about who we are, about what them folks did, and when judgment comes. The Messiah said he is not coming back to unify. He's coming to destroy. So if you are walking around talking about unity, and not trying to be set apart, you one of those people. You're a reprobate mind. You better read your word, because you're the people that are going to be destroyed. Before I go, I just want to remind y'all that the impacts of these tariffs and inflations and de-dollarization, all this stuff is going to hit us soon. You're going to start seeing shortages soon. They're already talking about meat is expensive. So again, you plant you a garden, get you some buckets. Even if you don't have no dirt, you can't afford to buy that dirt in a bag. Pull you over some grass, find you some good dirt someplace, and make you something. But do not sit around and think that, oh, the government gonna help you. The government's not gonna help you. They're raiding the government now like it's the bank. They are going up in there, stealing left and right, cutting out programs that we've paid into, so cutting social safety nets, so people won't be able to survive. So if you can, do something to help yourself, because nobody's going to help you. And I want you to think about Joseph. You remember when Joseph had the vision, the dream about the famine was coming, and he had to prepare for the lean years during the good years. Well, you're coming to the end of the good years, and the lean years are coming. And it's lean now, but it ain't lean like it's going to be. It's going to be lean like Great Depression time, maybe even worse. famine, pestilence, plagues, diseases, war, fire, all kinds of things are coming. You have to be ready for them. I have been talking about these things for almost 10 years and people have not listened to me. They love me when I tell you the price of gold gonna go up. They love you when I tell you about, certain things that you could benefit from that are tangible, money, fun things, good things. But when I tell people about the bad stuff, I don't want to hear it on my chest hurt. Oh, doom and gloom. I don't want to hear about the doom and gloom. Okay. All right. We living in doom and gloom times. The book of Revelation is a book of doom and gloom. The book of Second Baruch, book of doom and gloom. Testament of Solomon, doom and gloom. The book of Jasher, the book of Enoch. It ain't finna be nothing nice on this earth, and Christianity has not prepared people for what is coming. So I want to encourage you to be comfortable with doom and gloom, because that's getting ready to be the nature for everybody, believers and not believers. But we're praying that, the Most High looks out for his chosen people. Not saying that we're supposed to be more comfortable than everybody else, but make a way out of no way until we are delivered from this place. Remember, our captivity is ending, and that, I don't know whether we've been through Jacob's trouble or not, but I'm expecting to be delivered from this place. So with that said, I'm going to end this video now. Believe me, your comments in the comment section about what do you think is going on when it comes to these wildfires in Israel and this new Pope calling for unity so soon in his papacy. So with that said, this is Marley K. Like this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified each and every time I upload new content. Follow me on Odyssey, Rumble on Instagram, and on Facebook. The links are in the description. Thank you all for contributing to my GoFundMe campaign. I still have not met my goal for the month, but I'm believing I'm gonna make it for the month. So if you can, share the video out. The link for my GoFundMe campaign for emergency assistance is in the description box, as well as a link for my Venmo and my coffee. I appreciate everything that y'all have done for me. It has been so helpful. It has allowed me to pay for everything this month except for the rent, because I can't get the whole amount to pay for it. So I'm just believing that the Most High is gonna make a way. If he doesn't, I'm still gonna trust in him, and just know he got me. Whatever happens, I'm preparing for times to be much worse than this. So for those of y'all who are going through stuff, just be encouraged, especially when it comes to finances in this country. It's just gonna get a lot worse. Continue to prep, continue to pray, seek the Most High, obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. Repent daily for your sins, sins of commission and sins of omission, and get into your word, because there's going to be so much confusion between Christians and this ecumenical movement and all these other religions and the Catholic Church, Christian Zionism, especially here in the United States and in the West. Just a lot of movements, a lot of things are happening, and it's happening really fast. A lot of bills are getting ready to be passed, and I would not be surprised if during this year a Sunday law bill comes out. And we know that is going to be the bill that determines the day of rest on behalf of the Catholic Church. So another thing about all these natural disasters, all this spraying in the sky every day, all night, is that this is part of the line wonder, part of the deception. Climate. They want you to fight climate. They want you to keep the planet down. They want you to do stuff. But really, they want you to make sure the earth stays, to be prepared to fight the Messiah when he comes back. Because he's coming back to destroy with what? Fire. So, anyway, this is Marley K. Leave me your comments in the comment section about what you think or what you see. And see if we're seeing the same thing. And if you got any leads on something, let a sister know so she could talk about it. Because it's just too much stuff going on for me to be talking about right now. because I'm trying to figure it out myself. But for this particular story, I could see the plot, so I just want to share it with y'all. Keep your eyes open, keep your head on a swivel, and be ready for all things. If you be ready, you stay ready. You don't got to be worried about getting ready when the lights go out, when the store closed, when there ain't no money, when it's hot outside, when there are no food and clothes, when you got to go upside your neighbor head because they're trying to break in your house, or what all the other bad things that are going to come along with the times that are coming. So just pray that you are found worthy to escape and that you can endure to the end. All right, this is Marla K. Love y'all, and I'm out.